Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some time, fellowship, some entertainment, hopefully some conversations to spark and ignite your own path of joy, enlightenment, discovery of life. Brothers and sisters, here to have a good time. I've already dropped the link, pinned it to the top of the chat for those who wish to join. Today, the topic, the thumbnail too. I forgot to pull that out. The thumbnail today. We're creating predictions for the future. And Swinton Birds, bless you, thank you. You got it, right? You got it. How to end wars and government secrets. How to live without fear. That is the key. And Henry, I have been blessed with some generous support of talent and creativity. I cannot take credit, but I agree the thumbnails are amazing. Building a team is what we're doing. Behind the scenes and on the scenes, maybe, but trying to bring some unity into our world. That is really what my goal is. The idea of peace, discussing peace. Let's jump right into it. Peace. Let's really consider what that means. Peace is really, by a simple definition, peace is the absence of conflict. Conflicts are evidence of resistance. So peace is when there is no resistance, when there is a wholeness to the moment. And the wholeness is found through unity, without separation. Because there can be no resistance or conflict when there is no separation, when it is just one. Unity is what will bring our world to peace. And we've got our first guest already. Welcome to you, brother. How are you today? MC Nemesis, you're muted, my friend. Hey, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was just adjusting my camera there so everybody could see me. I'm in a pretty good mood today. Yeah, everything's going well. I'm at peace right now, and I think it has a lot to do with this man right here, and I'm not even playing. Because the more time I spend with Jack, like, if you were here last night, like Nick, he was kind of anxious about the future and everything. That's the exact way that I approached Jack. But by the end of the panel, he was pretty calmed down. And I'm happy for the progress.
I respect and I see your progress as well. I honor you. Thank you for joining and for your encouragement, your support. Brother, I'm in a great mood today as well. I am feeling whole and complete. What life? I have no disagreement with your definition, but I stand behind peace is the absence of conflict. I mean, and it starts and ends without conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. That is our path to peace. Amen. Without naming names, conflict is what many of us do. Brothers and sisters, if you look at ourselves generically, right, just kind of as concepts without real specifics, there is a devil within us all, right? And so what is the pattern of the devil? What is the pattern of Lucifer? Well, Lucifer was the one that got all egoic, right? Thought he was better than God, better than the creator, wanted to go to war and created divisions. There's a devil within all of us, the defier, the one that likes to be, well, praise God, we've got it all within us. There's a time and a place for us to be defiant. And then there's a time and a place for us to unite. And I think the better job we can do of uniting with each other, man, I've been spending time thinking about the future and how time might be shared in the future. If we didn't have these wars going on and all the regulations and rules and all the debts and all the craziness.
I think one way that we can achieve unity is to synergize with each other. Like you said, I would say take an interest in others. And if you do, you don't have to see, I'm a rapper and you don't have to like my rap music. But if you take an interest, you do. And like Jack, he's a writer. I might read stuff he's wrote, I might not. But that doesn't, like if you are a fan of someone, you could be a friend and a fan, but you could also be a friend, but you don't have to be a fan.
Well said. Well said. When what you said too, you brought up a point that I wanted to discuss today as well. Oh, and so it's there. If you notice something different, it's the eyeglasses again today. The life of Jack, I set my glasses down. I couldn't find them. So I chose to wear contacts the rest of the day. But anyway, what you brought up, Nemesis, is connecting to each other. And that kind of brings into the topic of, we've got discussing peace and sharing time. What I see a lot of us doing, and I was reflecting on this myself earlier, we spend time with each other, but maybe not attention. And there's a big difference in that. I see it happening a lot of times on the panel too, but I remember it in my past. I've seen it in my experience. People hang out and they're spending time with you, but their mind is off on their own problems. They're fixated on something that's not even there. And in the end, you may be spending time with someone, but if you're not sharing attention with each other, you still feel alone. And this can actually tie into sharing time. Well, the point is, if we're going to share time doing something, spend time doing something, or share time with people, it's important for us to pay attention, because that's where God is revealing. That's where God is revealing the life that we're living.
Hey, are those your? I noticed they're blue. So are they New Year's lights?
No, I don't know. They're multicolor.
Do you know anything about this chart in the back? Have you ever seen not the chart but the symbology of the seven? Have you ever heard of the 7 Hermetic Principles? And that's what this chakra chart represents. Now, is there any coincidence that there? Remember, I don't believe in coincidences, so obviously there's not a coincidence. But 7 deadly sins, 7 heavenly virtues, 7 Hermetic Principles, exactly. And if you understand your aspect, you're a dual creature, right? You are a physical form, your mind, but your soul energy is time, the space you take up, also your mental, like your physical effort and your emotions. That is your soul energy. So whenever people refer to selling your soul, they refer to giving away your time. And sometimes, like a truck driver, like my dad, he was 130 pounds, good shape. When he came out, 230 pounds, never lost the weight. He gained 100 pounds and never lost it. He developed depression. And look, these things, you don't know if they they might not be able to be reversed, but you'll have to deal with them if you develop them. So is it really worth, like, you got to have a big paycheck away on the road, but dying people regret not spending enough time with their families and friends, not money. So obviously we have to listen to the dying because we're living and we don't want to repeat their mistakes.
Well said, brother. Well said. The story of, you said that was your dad you were describing?
Yeah, my dad, he drove a truck for only 1 year. He couldn't handle it because he was away from his kids. My dad wasn't like, he was an average dad. He had bad and good aspects. His only problem was that he got hooked on drugs, like hard drugs, like pills and stuff. So that was his problem. And he let it control his life because it will. Just like me, like I'm overweight. I'm trying to lose weight because I let food control my life for so long, and I'm trying to say no more. And now I'm losing weight, and I'm healing my relationship with food. And like with Jack, we started bad, like, and then over time, you could develop a synergy with people if it's not about political ideologies. It's this synergy that we all have within us. You have to choose to synergize.
We choose what we connect to. Absolutely. And it's really easy. I'm sorry, I did get distracted, just so you know, but it is really, I think I got what you were offering. It is really easy for us in this life, in the society we live in, to sell ourselves short, to go into a path, a career for the money, believing it's the right thing, being away from the family because we're providing. That's what this world has taught us. But what truly is important, and congratulations on you, Nemesis, sincerely. You're a man, a husband, a soon-to-be father, as well as I understand, right? And
Yeah, he's coming due, should be due in May next year.
hey, brother, and is this your first?
Yes.
What a blessing. Okay, and here's the extra blessing that I see, my brother. You're working on your awareness. You're working on you. You're focused on becoming a better man, better husband, better father in preparation. I honor that. Okay. And brother, I want to help you if I can. All right. Online or offline, I'd like to offer you support because I went through the weight thing. I made a lot of mistakes as a dad and as a husband. So maybe by talking.
One thing I am comfortable talking with in the public, there's private and public. People get mad at me because I tell them, I say, I work for the private sector, so I don't have to tell you because it's private, but you work for the public. That's why you tell me. And you're like, you like it, but I'll be like, I can't tell you my private business, right? But like, unless, you're in the inner circle. But what I'm trying to say is there's ways that YouTubers, or I don't even consider myself a YouTuber. I'm going to X, just a media personality. I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of Tucker Carlson in structure, because the way he's structured, right? Like Tucker on X, MC Nemesis on X. Like, I'm trying to get a good blueprint, and I'm trying to build this new career I got moving forward. And like, so I Googled it. You're like 35 hours away from me. But, like, if you plan a trip, like, I have, like I said, I plan a trip. I do whatever I want right now. Like I said, I work for the private sector. So I could do mostly what I want. And I was thinking, that's one way. And then another way would just be to have you sit down. Have you ever watched Dr. Jordan Peterson? I'm not trying to compare you to him.
I'm a fan.
He sits in a comfortable chair and talking about one topic in his own way. Now that would be interesting media, But what you'd have to do was establish. The only thing you'd have to establish is, well, there's different roles, right? A CEO role, which I guess, I don't know how to undertake that. I'm more of like, have you ever watched Alex Stein?
Oh,
Alex Stein is a comedian.
yes. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, like me, I'm the Alex Stein. I can get viral numbers when I'm not shut down by the algorithm, and I can like be funny for like if you want to know what I can offer, that's what I do. Like I've went viral several times, and Alex Stein, he's a rapper, but I'm a rapper as a joke, but I'm also like, and then when people hear me, they're like, oh, he's actually a good rapper because the joke inside of the joke is I am a good rapper because I spend so much time and energy on it. But then the other joke is that the only people who really don't like me anymore are the liberals, which, and I chose that. I don't know why I chose it. Probably because I'm from the South. I think it's just something, like I'm just going to latch on to my heritage because like I strayed away from it and that didn't do me no good. So I was like, well, let me try to latch on to my heritage that I rejected in my youth. And ever since I did that, life's been, improving because part of my heritage was trying to seek for God.
Good for you.
I got lots of red going on tonight. Like I got this red water pipe and this red shirt. I don't know why. Red, dude. Do you believe in the pill ideology at all? I don't believe in it, but I studied it.
I'm not sure what ideology.
Have you ever watched the movie The Matrix?
Yep.
So in The Matrix, he's presented with the choice, the blue pill or the red. So the blue pill represents the Democratic Party and the way they want to live inside of the Matrix, which I'm not saying it's wrong. I lived that way, like I said, as a teenager. However, inside of the Matrix, you don't really know what's going on. Then the red pill offers you a chance to live outside the Matrix, see what's really going on. But then the black pill, and that's what so. And then the black pill offers you the reality as like, then you know why it happened. So blue pill, red pill, and then the red pill is how it happens. Black pill is why it happens. And then me, I chose once I took the black pill and got to that stage, I was really depressed. Just diagnosed with diabetes. Dude, I was really bad last year, like 1 year ago. But then I took the white pill. The white pill is what you take you search for God. And if you search for God, you can find joy and peace in your heart. But there is some dark stuff about the black pill that you may or may not know. Are you familiar with? And I'm not trying to joke, but it is kind of a joke. Have you ever heard of a Chad? Chad?
In several contexts, I'm not sure.
Like a Chad is a man who can have any girl he wants, who is just naturally like, even if he doesn't exercise, he's built like a pro athlete. Even if he doesn't exercise,
all right.
Chads are not like black, white. They're their own race of people, basically. They're the superior in appearance. And even if they do something wrong, you have a horde of what they call Stacys that will just throw tons of money at them. And this is the reality, according to the incels.
That's interesting. Hey, you said a bunch. I have got to find a pen. You inspired a bunch of reminders for me that I want to talk about. But so the Chads are supported by the Stacys, and that's why the way the world is?
Yes. These Chads, for example, in the WWE, Roman Reigns is a Chad because his jawline is square and his chin is protruding. He is the WWE champion on top of the food chain. He is the top ratings draw. Not because he can speak well, Not because he's such a good wrestler, he's like an average wrestler. Not because of anything other than the fact that he is a representation of the Chad look, and it is media. This has been proven by channels such as Wheat Waffles with numerical data to back it up. The data from Tinder, from Meet Me, like places like that, to prove that women only care about this. This is the only thing that women care about, according to the incels. They take one look at you. Me, I'm a 5. Jack, you're 5. You're too masculine. You have to be more feminine in order to be Chad Lott. I don't want that. Or Chad, and then there's the Chad Lotts, but these Chads have, well, basically everything they want. They just are smarter, bigger, faster, stronger. Do you deny genetics, Jack? Do you, like that's what you have to ask yourself. Do you deny genetics?
Nemesis, I freaking love you, man. Let's get off on this, because here's what this is. If we step back from the Chad and the Stacy and these identifications, even liberal and conservative, it's really easy to get caught up in our mind and in the definitions of what we think things are. I get what you're saying, and I agree. There is some, to your question, I believe, yeah, there is something to the genetic order and the way that our genes are passed down, that we each carry different traits and different, we are so unique, so amazing. Human beings are. This world that we were born into has taught us to, well, severely limit. It's taught us to believe in limitations of all sorts, and especially the limitations on ourselves. We don't know a lot. That's what I've been learning. All of us. We don't know what we've not yet learned. And this world convinces us that we don't have to pay attention. We really, we get to pay attention. We get to live right now. You said a couple of things, Nemesis. I grabbed my phone, my pen, but I couldn't remember what you said.
Let's go over some key points about okay, you cannot deny genetics.
Okay.
For example, the only reason that basketball players are in the NBA is because they're like 7 foot tall and they have great twitch reflexes. That's it. Black people have better twitch reflexes on average than white people. It's just like, it's something to do with the cultural thing, like from Africa and stuff. But anyways, they're just, okay, so you have a 7 foot tall. Now, what did the 7 foot tall guy do specifically to get drafted to the NBA besides be taller than everyone else? I mean, if you lowered the net by a foot, I could be a professional because, I mean, lower it by a foot, Jack, and I could be a pro. Like, it's really like, it is literally just how tall you are. That's, I mean, in basketball.
Wait. Okay. I'm not understanding the point.
What I'm trying to say is this.
Okay, go ahead.
And to make it more clear, you're born a certain way. You're born to a race you are. You're born to your height, and a lot of things are predetermined way before you're born. Your social status, like you're born rich or you're born poor, and it matters. But you know what? It doesn't matter, and they sell the dream of the American dream, but it's fake because, look, the hierarchy of the genetic gene pool is impeccable. You cannot beat a 7 foot tall basketball player. You just can't. Not in that sport. That's why they invented that sport. And people pay millions of dollars to watch these people. Why? Because they're just 7 foot tall. Because they put on. I mean, seriously, it's just if you're below 5'9", then people consider you short. So the
Yeah.
point is that there is categories in this world, and that we need to be aware of this hierarchy in society that God has created. God has made this hierarchy, and we got to be aware of it for some reason.
The hierarchy doesn't have to be important. Okay. And this is where I think I kind of get what you're saying, that the game was created for a specific type based on the genetics. But I agree with one of the comments. Don't sell the players too short. They do practice a lot. They work out intensely. So I've heard. I mean, I've certainly never experienced the life of a of a pro athlete. But the hierarchies and the genetics, okay? I kind of get where you're going. In the past, human beings were convinced genetics really mattered. I mean, that's how the kings and queens were selected, by whose blood was in the veins. And it's created a bunch of divisions, and even the nonsense of like that, it resulted in the caste system in India and other places. We actually do have kind of a class system here in America too. And it's an illusion. It's a hierarchy that may exist because some people are smarter than others, some people are more charismatic than others. We all have our different talents and traits. But in our lives, this is what I started learning for myself. In our lives, these distinctions between us, they're only important if we believe they're important. And this is why I'm confident I'd love to speak to some people in authority, or some of the wealthy people who might have some resources and connections that to open up some doors.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. In what way specifically? The only thing, like, I have land that like a bunch of trees grew up. Like, I was thinking about building a steeple on it, like a private prayer building,
Very
but
cool.
I don't know. I mean, for me, the problem is media presence. I want to expand the media, digital media, but a good way to do that in person is so much better, because Russell Brand talking to Ben Shapiro wasn't a big deal if it was digital, but since they met up at a coffee shop, and they took a cameraman with them, and the cameraman's very professional. They wear all black, and or sometimes, and they'll hide in the bushes just if you'd feel uncomfortable and stuff, and they just had a conversation, and it was. I mean, it's weird, but I'm gonna say it was a beautiful conversation. And the only reason I say that is because like, they're just two very bright people, and for two bright people to have a conversation with each other, it's a sight to see the genius being displayed just by being able to synchronize and do, like, the fact that Ben Shapiro and Russell Brand drove and met each other, two different personalities on media drove and met each other. That's how social media is supposed to work. You're supposed to find a community in real life and then get off the internet, right? And focus on in person, unless you're a corporation and you're pushing ads, or like me, a rapper, and I stay present. Which that's I stay present because I got to. I got to keep my ear to the ground. And politics, that's another thing too, Jack. I use politics as a marketing tool, even though I do believe what I say. Do you necessarily disagree with that? Like, do you find it annoying, trite, that it's like, but I'm just using it to connect with people who's not on, you know, who are on that level?
Mm-hmm. I say we use the tools that we have. Each of us have access and abilities, different resources, different skills. I think whatever we can do, we should be doing in order, as long as our intentions are true, our heart is open, and we're doing our deeds for the service and the benefit of others. Others can include ourselves sometimes, you know. We got to care for ourselves, but as long as our focus is on sharing value, I coming back to what you said though, also Nemesis, it is pretty cool that those guys came and met. Um, I'd encourage you, watch your words, watch your language. The supposed tos, we can. We can do whatever we want. And I love what you said about this idea. People can use social media for whatever they want, honestly. And the corporations obviously have their interest in how we use our social media. But we certainly do. We've got this opportunity to stay connected to people we know and meet others. And if we can meet people online and communicate well, why not meet them in person? You know, the more connections we have in this world, the safer we feel, right? Because we know we can be cared for when we have others that we know.
Let me explain something to you. So I'm gifted with the ability to be able to write. I had to teach myself how to write rap music though, because it takes a lot of practice. But with you, I try to draw energies from what people say and I listen to them, right? And I do that with all kinds of things. And then I was watching you, and I was able to gather that. Now I was able to gather some soul energy from you, and what I was able to create from it was that song on the album, The Demon Killer. Now, why do you think that this is what manifested from your soul energy, and I used your soul energy as a tool to build this? Because you give it to people, and I said, okay, I'm gonna take it. But why do you think that it manifested that way? Is it because of probably my religious background, or is it something that you were dealing with that you wanted to do? Like you wanted to slay something in your past? I don't know. But to live without fear, this is what NF does. He creates this persona called fear, and then he says, he like attacks it, right? So he attacks this thing called fear, and that's his whole career, just him battling his fear, right? And that's literally your message. So I'm like, something's, and he has 8 million subscribers. So I'm like, obviously, this is the correct path. Like, I know it
Beautiful.
100% is the correct path. If I follow in his footsteps, NF follows in that footstep, live without fear.
Um, well, this live without fear, it's something I hope others will receive and consider. And because I honestly think the way I see our creator, the most powerful, the perfected one, the one that controls and allows all life to be known, that God, it controls us, I believe, through our mind, through our thought, through the ideas that mankind is allowed to know, each of us individually, but collectively as well. And so in my spiritual path, I actually considered that live without fear message as, why not? Why couldn't it be a message from God for our world at this time? I believe it is. I believe live without fear is a message for the world, for us to share. So I love what you're saying and where the inspiration came from. Let's come back to your question. I love that story, your perspective. Dude, that's cool. The way you're looking at things, real kind of abstract and from a bigger perspective. But with the credit and wonder to God. You received some inspiration through me, and thank you. And I'm glad it was able to build, and you carried it forward. Anything you do is completely you, you and God. So your words and your inspiration were formed through your veil, through your, not veil, through, it is, we've all got a veil over our mind, the way we see the world.
Well, I think more significant is what was created was a sort of doppelganger effect where I kind of left my old self in the past. Uh, I even changed my last name to my wife's instead of the other way around so I could complete this transformation. So whenever I tell you who I am, you know, it's like I am literally a new person than who I was previously, like before I was diagnosed. And I was sick for an entire year prior, and I didn't even know it. And you know, I just thought it was a symptom of getting older. I had no idea I was just dying, and I was dying. The whole 2022 was just, it wasn't even living. I was just dying. And then in November, my sugar shot up to almost 1,000, and I could have died. And then, so then when I take the new journey, what happened was it was like I died. Well, you know, it was brought back from death on purpose. Like this happened on purpose, in my opinion.
I agree. Hey, and this is actually a perfect segue. You were brought back for a reason, right? There's a purpose. It was on purpose that we live our lives with purpose, whether we recognize the purpose or not. And so I don't remember exactly what you said, but you said something earlier about you're asking why. And that is the most important question we can ask is why. Hey, we've got another guest, a man I haven't seen in a little bit. Welcome back, brother. Good to see you, Flo.
Did you bring me here? Did you rub my lamp?
I might have.
What's going on?
We haven't even gotten to economics yet, but good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too.
Heard you were under the rocks or down in the weather a little. Doing better?
I was a little bit under the weather.
Okay,
but
glad you're
and then
back.
Just took some time because you know once you've already started something, you kind of sometimes just roll with it and see where it'll go. So I haven't tuned in. I have no idea what the fuck's going on in the metaverse. This shit rolls faster than I can keep up with it when I'm keeping up with it. So,
and yet it doesn't change. I don't know if you missed anything.
Yeah.
We've been talking a bunch of stuff today already.
I think the reality of the matter is, Flow State, that we are capable of planting our roots down. It's been shown time after time. It's called tradition. Tradition means a proven method of doing things. We can plant our roots down, and we can just say, no, I'm just going to, you know, not live in the past, but I think this is the best way. I'm not going to change just because the times are changing. Like people keep the same old vehicle now and just refurbish it. Like people literally, they're like, no, I'm not going to do it because not everything that's new is good. So we can plant our roots and stand firm in what we believe, and we don't have to change. You know, the contrary to the world, we do not have to change at all.
We get to, though. We get to change, and I'm actually pretty critical of following traditions. I see a lot of people following tradition without knowing any why. And if we go through a ritual or a tradition without knowing the meaning, all it is a dance. It's a ceremony for fantasy and entertainment. And I'm not sure what traditions you mean. Huh?
And I guess I don't know where I dropped into the conversation, so I don't know that I have a point on the larger, topic, but I do agree. I think that tradition is the good things that we choose to keep.
Okay. And that would tie with what Nemesis was saying.
By definition, Jack, a tradition is a proven method of success. So,
well, I wouldn't go that far. I think that there are bad traditions.
Yeah.
Well, what you consider success may not, like some people consider, slaves a success. So what I'm trying to say is like,
all right,
you know what I mean? Like, so they think, and that's where you get to bad tradition. But but most tradition, most of it, 90% of it, is just based on we find something that works and we keep doing it over and over and over and over again, like your job. Like you go to your work and you do the same thing every day. So, like obviously,
that's a death sentence, though.
Like a program, like you just put in a piece of software, you're the program.
Right, but tradition can also be a cage.
Yes, that is what I see.
What cage do you want to be in?
None.
Because I think that you're going to be.
No,
I'm not a fan of cages.
Yeah.
But I am a fan of traditions, given that they're. I primarily see their value in being a unifying social practice.
That's very true. It is a unifying act. People coming together for the combined interest, tradition, ceremony, whether it's wedding or, court conviction, whatever.
And granted, I'm not very active in traditions. I definitely could be more active. I haven't hung Christmas lights on my own house in God knows how long. But I do see some value there, especially the older I get, the more, the more things that don't seem like they should be tradition, like boys have penises and girls get pregnant, the more I start to value them.
I see.
Yeah,
valuing
with the changing of the times, you have to admit, with the changing of the times, like I said, traditions, like I said, I think it's black and white and blue. Like people say the gray area, I call it the blue area because the law is neither good nor evil. It will arrest good people and it will arrest bad people. Cops kill good and both good and bad people. They're basically like a militia force that's just constantly in the public. So they're neutral. They don't make money, so they don't do it for money. Most of them do it for just a smidge of power, so it's not really for that. But hold on, I'll be right back. I'm still listening, but I got to use the bathroom.
Sure.
My mind when I was inspired with a different topic, so I kind of lost sight of what was being discussed.
Take it wherever. I don't know that there's a lot of things that he just said in that last little spurt that I kind of agree and disagree with strongly at the same time. So
I get you. Oh, he does Nemesis, from the little bit I'm seeing, he does seem to have a pretty good, you both do actually, pretty good ability to see another side, and finding the value, like he said, even in some of the unhealthy traditions, to the people doing them, they may find value in what they're doing. But
he seems more pro tradition than I am.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm starting to see I never have ever been a traditionalist, and I'm just sort of starting to see so really, I'm probably stating my position as more pro tradition than I really am, because I've always been so against it.
Well, yes, I could see in you what I described earlier. I started the stream talking about the rebellious nature within us, and you seem to carry that presence pretty strong in you. That you strong-willed and no problem defying what others want if it's not what you
Correct.
want.
As I would encourage everybody to do. I don't see. I think people are lulled into trying to take a God's eye view, which is, appeals to the narcissist in all of us, but it doesn't really reflect our own perspective or experience. It's sort of a deception to think that we have that perspective or that we should carry that perspective primarily.
You had to go there.
You said you wanted to talk economics.
Well, all of this is kind of tied, because where I was going to press back there is carrying that God mindset all the time.
But we can't have it.
Why?
Because we're limited. We're finite.
Okay.
It's literally impossible for us to have that perspective. We can have what we think is close to it, but it's still just in our estimation. And so thinking that we have it, it insists
all
that
right, all right. You're right. Golly jeez. Well, in the context of accepting others for the foolish creatures that they show themselves to be. And actually, that's not even where you were at, because your point was more in, don't let people control you. Don't just go along to get along. I think that's what you were getting at.
I think that sums up my point about everything.
Yeah. And that's a great way to be. It took me a long time to find my stride in life, how I'm comfortable living. I mentioned I tried fitting in. I tried learning. Well, I didn't try. My path taught me to learn how to obey. And so I felt comfortable as long as I knew all the rules. And then I knew I was obedient. So then I knew I shouldn't have any trouble. And then life happened. And sometimes it doesn't matter what rules we know. Sometimes it doesn't matter what's right or wrong.
Well, you definitely have to know the rules if you want to break them effectively.
Yes. I learned that early in the military, dude. In a different way. I learned exceptions to policy in this illusion of hierarchy. If you've got something of value, I found in the military, you present it, you go above people's head and you present it, you'll get people to listen, to reason, and exceptions to policy can happen.
Well, it's all incentive based, right? And so part of incentives is knowing what everyone's boundaries are. And I don't actually believe, rules, if we're being real about it, rules aren't rules. Because everything's an option. Rules are it's a high stakes activity.
I love that. That's absolutely
I'm probably going to get rated for that sentence right there.
It depends on how far you push it, but it's true. Rules are options. And there's options reveal choices, and choices include consequences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you play with stupid shit and you'll get burned. If you choose to, if you do, But I was actually just thinking about this. Maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe I steered it here. But before I even clicked on the link here, I was thinking about how just certain rules that I gave to myself worked really well. For instance, knowing the sentencing grid. For instance, not using certain words. I think I went over this the last time I was on.
Sorry, y'all. I've been listening. I'll just I'm in the background chilling.
It's cool. Take your poop.
Yes. So you found rules that have worked for you. Have you found rules that I'm sure you have? I mean, you've been your own path of addiction. Found rules that you made in the past that maybe weren't healthy or helpful anymore?
Yeah. But most of it wasn't about knowing myself and how to respond to things. So I don't do well giving myself hard rules, which I've tried before. I don't do well. I do better if I'm about to get angry, like really angry, which happens less and less as I get older. I'm better off just letting it happen and staying in control than I am actually losing control. So I don't know how you would phrase that. Maybe let yourself.
No. Please try, because I think
I
that's
mean, letting myself lose control before I actually lose control, or something like that. But that's not accurate either, because I stay in some control. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
you allow the anger to be felt.
You're right. I don't try to resist until,
Actually, anger has been one of my biggest downfalls. One of the things I've carried most of my life. And what I've learned and what I've been trying to practice for myself is welcome it. When these feelings come in, ooh, I feel that. I feel you, anger. Welcome back. You're not going to control, but I know you're here. We have the tendency to ignore our emotions, to push it away, to deny it. And then when we do deny our emotions, we come back even worse. When we do finally snap, or we do finally boil over, it gets ugly.
It's all part of management, though. Because I don't. You can manage them.
See, I'm a younger man than
you can
both
manage
of
your
you,
emotions.
so
Sure.
I'm a
I
younger
mean, don't
man.
you don't think that you can manage emotions?
It's harder when you're younger.
Yeah.
Possibly, but what an incredible time to learn. I wish I'd have learned to pay attention to my emotions when I was younger, to try and master them. I mean, I knew I got in trouble in certain places, but yeah, someone at the door. Keep going.
That.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
That's his landlord. I'm just kidding. It might be. Who knows? Hopefully Jack will be back. If he's
not, we'll hold it down.
He's probably under attack. And that shit would be whack, so I hope someone would call and try to get a hold of him, try to go, yeah.
If he doesn't return sooner or later, I'll get him.
People think I can't do shit. And it's because I get brain rot from this marijuana. And when I get brain rot, I just, chill out. Have you ever had it? Like, cigarettes used to do me the same way, but like I switched to smoking weed. You get this brain rot, this mellow feeling where you're just like, I'm there, in the moment.
I don't know. I don't know if I get that more. And I wasn't talking so much about even valuing the emotions, because I don't value my own emotions. I definitely don't value other people's emotions either. It's just more about not resisting them till the very end. You know what I mean?
Did you say that you value or devalue?
I don't value. I do not value them. I do recognize them as sort of undeniable at some point.
Well, facts matter more. Like the truth matters more than just a temporary emotion. Because, like you just said, I'm angry, but if I just wait, I won't be angry. Patience.
Sometimes it depends on what it is.
It depends on how much you have, or it depends on the situation. It's like you have a tank or something, and you could try to. It's like working out a muscle. You try to work out that patience, but man, like for me, the straw that breaks the camel's back is the Satanic Temple. Honestly, me being a Christian, just seeing that just tears me apart. It just does. Because it's not even a religion. It's that opposite of a religion. And they'll be the first ones to tell you that they don't believe in anything.
Well, they're not deists.
Huh?
They're not deists. They don't believe in a deity.
No. Depravity. There are people who choose depravity.
Yes.
And these people.
But that's part of free will.
Well, these people who worship the devil, free will or not, I don't think that we should keep them around in society, at least behind closed doors, and they need to keep that to themselves.
I mean, consider the alternative, though. Would you prefer that people not have free will?
When it comes to trying to spread Satanism,
That wasn't the question. It wasn't qualified.
I'm just speaking from a Christian perspective.
I get what you're saying, and I don't entirely disagree with you. I'm sort of just playing devil's advocate, pun intended.
Well, you know what the Christian perspective is. I have no deviations from the Christian perspective other than I don't believe that hell. Well, I believe that, and from a biblical perspective, hell just is a representation of death. It's not. It's not. Only the dead in Christ rise. The sinners stay dead. That is the second death. So that's the only deviation that I have from Protestant, really. Besides, I mean, I do believe in the Apocrypha, those books.
What's
I believe
that?
in like the Catholic.
Oh, that's like the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, like you just the books are just, even if you weren't believing in a higher power, at least you could admire the meticulous nature of the construction of a certain set of morals that can benefit humanity. At least you have to admire
Now
that.
seems like a good time to remind people that I'm a direct descendant of Constantine, so you're welcome for the Bible.
See, that's what I'm saying. And we have a lot of people to contribute. And a lot of people want to carry on the faith.
Playing. Like I am a direct descendant of his, but I was just playing. I don't get any credit for. I don't know if I'd want any credit.
I don't know if you're really. Are you a Christian yourself?
No, I'm not.
Are you atheist?
I'm not an atheist. I would say that I'm closer to a Christian than I am to an atheist. I'm probably faithfully agnostic, in that I believe that whatever the force is that is, God, for lack of a better word, it can do what it wants. And if I'm supposed to know something, I'll know it. And if I'm supposed to figure something out, I'll figure it out. And if I'm not supposed to know something, I won't know it. And that regardless of what way I look at it personally, on a bigger level, it has to be right. It can't be anything but. Because if you believe God's all powerful, then you believe that everything is just according to his will, right?
So on a larger scale, you're saying that it would be kind of impossible for just one deity to reach all those people at once and have an intimate relationship with them as well.
No, I'm saying that on a larger scale, if you believe God is all powerful, then you have to believe he's all powerful, and that includes creating everything and having a hand in everything. So nothing can be wrong. Nothing. If God's all powerful, nothing can happen that's not in God's will.
Right. And part of his will is to give us. Now, people think that we have infinite choices, but we don't. There's only two choices. This is what the Christian faith tells you. They're God and the absence of God. And the absence of God is where the devil steps in to be a facilitator. But he really has no power.
And this is sort of where I see myself as deviating from Christianity, is that Christianity treats the devil as an equal. I know that they won't say equal, but treats him as an equal adversary. And I think that can't be right. Can it?
I don't think, not like I said, the devil has no power at all. The only thing he can do is see humans choose him. They choose to give him their power. And if you choose to give someone your soul, your life force, your time, energy, money, if you choose to give someone your physical energy, like, hey, I'm from Mexico. I don't have papers. I'll work for you for $5 an hour. Sure. Okay. You just sold your soul to a Satanist, because the only people who do that is a Satanist. They want a slave, and they want slavery. Of course, they're like Democrats are the ones who had the slaves, and they're still today. And that's part of the whole red pill ideology. I was talking with Jack earlier. So, yeah, when you're a Republican, conservative Christian, you can really start hammering down a lot of those left-wing ideologies and just getting rid of them. And, honestly, like, it improves life, in my opinion, but it takes a lot of bravery, though,
Well, what if they're supposed to be there?
What, the blockades?
All the bullshit. The Temple of Set and the left-wing shit and the abortions and gender swapping and everything. And I guess I'm reaching. I don't know where you really stand on any of this stuff,
it's a
but I'm
choice.
assuming that
It is a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it exists. God wouldn't be like it's an equal but opposite choice, but it's not equal, but it is perceived as equal because that's the lie. That's the whole point of. That's the whole.
But if you
point.
consider the alternative where there isn't those options,
So
really the only way to get there is without free will.
Okay, here's your two choices, and this is what now Protestants probably won't tell you this because your two choices are you're going to live forever with God, who is a person, because we're creating his image like he looks like us. He's a person and has a personality, and you're either going to get to know him as a person, right, as a father, or you're going to have eternal slumber in an unconscious state because you will no longer be here. You'll just be nothing. So you have God, which is everything, or you can have nothing. Now some people would interpret that as peace. It's peace, nothingness. That's what you had to look forward to. There's no eternal hellfire. That's quite frankly blasphemous. That a loving God would burn people for all eternity. I mean, it's just blasphemous. Like, think about
It does seem counter. It seems illogical. It also seems illogical that God would need any sort of a sacrifice, or would want any sort of a sacrifice. If you're God and you create life, then why the fuck do you need your life to kill the life that you created? There's some sort of logic twist there that doesn't really work.
Because my son, I laid down my life for my son. That's the ultimate sacrifice. But you get it? Lay down your life for the son.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
Instead of us having to lay down our life for the son who is worthy, like my son is worthy of all this. My son is worthy of my self-sacrifice. He's worthy of my life dedicated to him. He becomes me, but he also becomes his individual. This is how we know that God and Jesus are one, because me and my son are one. Even though he's not even born, we are one.
Which doesn't make any sense. I mean, like let's just stop right there. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. By the definitions of the word, 1 and 3, not the same thing. Father, Son, God, man. These are all mutually exclusive terms. You cannot be one in the definition of the word and be the other at the same time. So this is the issue I have with Christianity, is that the only requirement for getting to heaven is that you convince yourself to accept mutually exclusive terms. You have to brain fuck yourself into accepting things that reject each other definitionally to get to heaven. So that's why I don't consider myself a Christian, because that seems like a brainwashing technique more than anything.
If you don't think that two people can be one, can you explain twins or?
Yeah, they're different people.
No, they're the same genetically.
Well, I think that there's something, even if that is true, I don't know that it is or isn't. If that's true, there's still something deeper than genes, right? They are two separate people.
Well, there's been an argument. Are they really? Because they say twins can feel each other's pain.
There can be all sorts of arguments. That doesn't make them valid.
Okay, like the Briscoe brothers, who were twins. They were tag team wrestling. They communicated with a series of grunts. They made up their own language, but they didn't. I mean, they knew each other's thoughts and feelings.
I don't know what twins you're referring to, but in my mind,
telepathy.
They're right, and I believe I actually do believe in that. But that doesn't mean that they're the same person. I think, if anything, that would show that they're clearly different people.
Okay, let me explain it further. And there can be twins that are not biological Did you know that? There's actually exist
No, I
people
didn't
who
know
are
that.
identical. They're identical twins, but they're not related by blood.
I've never heard of that.
Just a quick Google search and you will find the answers.
I'll take your word for it for the sake of the conversation. Carry on.
So we know that two people can be the same person. They are the same, identical twins.
So how does
So if
that?
we know
But what does
this,
that have to do with being one or different people?
they're the same person, but they're also two. They're two. God makes it simple, and He will reveal Himself to you in a simple manner, but only if you choose Him. You must choose Him. You cannot say I'm gonna lean on my own understanding. You have to choose God. You have to say, God, take the reins.
But ultimately, all we can do is lean on our own understanding. So even that seems dishonest to me. And
So
also, I'll point out that that's something that God gave us, right? Is our capacity to reason. So to trade
your
in,
mind's all muddled. Your mind's muddled with different ideations conglomerated into one.
my mind's clear. If I'm the son, I cannot be my own father, and I cannot be a father just by the definition of the word father. It implies a relationship to another. That cannot be the same. It doesn't imply, it explicitly states it.
The only thing that separates me and my son are our thoughts, feelings, and our body. Our souls are different. But the spirit is the same. Is it starting to make sense now?
No, it doesn't. Nor do I expect it to. I think that the only way I don't think it cannot make sense.
Spirits. Do you believe in spirits?
Yes, but what I'm telling you is mathematically, if you treat it like math, and father, what does father mean? All it means,
okay.
a father cannot be defined except in relation to a son.
Let's go the other way. That helps secular people understand it more. Let's talk about the devil. So the devil is an angel of light. So the devil is an angel of light, perfect in all his ways until he fell from grace. He convinced 1/3 of the angels to come with him so he can torment us and try to lead us away from God. So how can the devil lead us away from God? Well, because we don't choose him. He gives us another way, and he facilitates this. Jesus facilitated the salvation through the cross, and the devil facilitates the salvation through, like, okay, you can become a zookeeper if you're willing to have zoo animals. You must own people. You must own people. That's what Satan wants, for you to own people. Like
I could agree with that.
Right? So that's what the Democrats wanted in slavery, to own people. So people can
What's the best way to fully own somebody?
Force them at gunpoint.
No. Force is the least efficient way to own somebody.
Oh, debt.
To convince them. It's to convince them.
Well,
do you agree?
The debt is enforced by the law, though, and like I said, the law is neutral. The law helps evil in that manner.
I heard you say that. I don't think that law is neutral either, depending on which law we're talking about.
The law of the land.
Yeah, I think that is a generally a non-neutral force. I think that's got much more to do with evil than good, and much more to do with control than free will.
It serves
coercion.
It's easy for humans to just look at the evil a person does. For example, I'm a felon. There's many people on YouTube who just focus on my criminal record. Right? That's all they focus on. Because I beat up 2 lesbians.
Hey, Jack.
Thank you guys for holding down the fort. I appreciate. How's everything going?
You know.
So what do you
You're doing
think?
good.
Like knowing that about me, now how do you feel when I say I'm a Christian?
I feel. What's up, Papa Luigi? I feel no different. I already knew something about you. I understand that that salvation comes to those that need it, and I'm also a felon, and I didn't beat up any lesbians, but
Holy.
but I didn't find God. I suppose that I found spirituality, maybe you could say, a little more clearly while I was locked up.
Hey, pause just a moment, please.
Yeah,
Is this the Ike door I know from like 20, 30 years ago by chance?
there can only be one, right?
Um if that's the guy I'm thinking of, he and I served together when we were kids in Germany,
Whoa,
I think. Holy cows, isn't that where we were? It is you.
whoa,
Brother, if you're available,
whoa!
I'd love for you to join, man. Um,
You should post the link in chat again. Tell him come up if he
yeah,
wants.
I did, but
So,
well,
so
yeah.
Jack, I was explaining that some people look at me as nothing more than a criminal, and but then other people can say, "Nah, he's a changed man. He's got a wife and a kid on the way, and lucrative employment in the private sector." So I
I
don't
guess I was
know.
muted. How people view us is their problem. So I don't really try to worry about it at all. I just do me,
There
and
you
if
go.
somebody wants to view me as a felon, then that's their their right to. They can go ahead and do that. It's not my problem.
Yeah, for
Hey,
real. Thank you for your service.
well, hey, with what you're saying, things from our past, it does affect how others judge and how they view us. But things from our past will only actually affect us as much as we allow them. And we've made mistakes in the past, and sometimes we've been punished. Sometimes we've been punished for doing the right thing. But regardless, we can't let the past limit us. We can't let it define us. That's what I've learned for myself. That's for sure. Because every day we can, and to bring it back from a long time ago, but every day we get the opportunity to reinvent ourselves, to bring change, to become greater than we were in different ways. We get to explore life from the perspective of who we are in any ways that we want. And when you can look at it like that, man, life's pretty damn cool.
Praise God.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Hey, I would like to say this though. Uh, so if I can collect my thoughts here and live in unity with other people instead of division, but I would like to say that I do think everybody on the panel, like I don't know Papa Luigi, but Flow State, he sounds like he is thinking, but I don't know about Papa Luigi. A pragmatically unslaved. I don't. Is that?
It's Lou Bass. Excuse me.
I don't know.
Yes, Paul's my daddy.
Yeah. So it's don't let it be a distraction.
Like to
What?
me, the point of life is to beget life. And you give it's called leaving a legacy. You take all your soul energy you put into all your ministry. And then when you die, you're still here, Your soul energy is here for others to nib on like a squirrel, right? Oh, I know what I was going to ask permission. Like, if I could go, prime time 99 Alex Stein style. We're both rappers, but whenever I say, I reference that man because he makes fun of just ridiculous thing in politics. For example, the gay sex in the Senate hearing room. It became a Senate rearing room that day. What do you think? Like, that's by Matt Walsh, dude. You should check that out. But what do you think, dude? Like, hey, that's not the first time someone's been reared, but in another way in that room. But I don't know. Like, what do you think, Jack? This is just. What do you think about making a mockery of it? Like, can we have a comedy about it?
Hey, what's wrong with gay sex? Is there something wrong with gay sex?
They did it in the Senate hearing room. Did it in the Senate hearing room.
Yep. So
there is something wrong, bro.
Well, guys, there is so much wrong with this world today. And it is, I believe it's up to us to get control of it. And most people, well.
Hey, you trying to get a hold of this conversation where it's going?
Yeah, I was trying.
I'm just busy taking, my night meds. Well, where this conversation's going, Jack, is listen, buds. Look, anybody who judged me, I just want you to know, I think it's wrong for a biological man to hit a woman. That is why I would like to become an advocate against trannies in the MMA.
Yeah, but it's okay to hit lesbians, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's okay to hit lesbians. They're not real.
No,
they're not real women.
Hey,
it's never okay for a biological man, right, even if you've taken stuff to reduce your testosterone and try to fight in the MMA. It's never okay to hit a woman. If that's coming from me, I should have been punished. It is wrong for anybody to condone it or to promote it.
I appreciate that. Now, I think we can find other, you're free to do whatever you want. And if you want to go battle the MMA and stand against the abuse of women, God bless. But I think we can, I don't know. I just, what do I do? Praise God. Praise God. I am so filled with love.
Praise God.
Praise God.
The knock at the door was some church missionaries. So
Did you say no thank you, my soul's spoken for?
Well, I may have made more connections in town.
Well, like I was explaining, I own his soul now. I took his soul and made a song from it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But he just inspired me to write a song, and it's cool, dude. Like whenever I'm a writer, I can imagine myself as anybody. Like, what if I was a woman? What if I was a tranny woman in the MMA? Oh wait, I already tried that one in real life. That didn't work out well. People, I went to prison. So then we'll see. I don't know, just all kinds of things.
Dude, you are an interesting man, my friend.
I'm getting like inspired to get like, what do you guys think? Like, I have no idea what to talk about. I'm just bullshitting now. Like,
well,
I
know this is here. Let's join. Let's actually see if we can. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to talk about.
Let's welcome Papa Luigi into the conversation. State your.
Well, I just think that I don't agree with beating women, but I think beating lesbians on occasion could be a fun pastime. I mean, despite the fact that you may be put in jail. I mean,
hey Lou, your audio is horrible.
Hold on, let me fix it.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
Well, it's still the same voice, but
oh, you don't like the voice. It's not so much the audio, it's just the man.
Well, it's a little of both, my friend. Because
Okay, I'll
look,
go out and come back in.
all right. Thank you. Oops. Looks like that's what you did as well. Are you back? What is going on? Praise God. Praise God. I have so much hope and faith for what the future might bring. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I trust that there is a shift happening. We are going through humanity all around the world. We are going through an incredible transition from the old, and I believe it's up to us we get to create the new. And I see a world where these governments and corporations are actually managed and run with some integrity.
Any better, Jack? Sorry.
It is better. Thank you, Lou.
All right.
Sorry, my phone bag glitching. You say I turn on my camera, it's nothing. But man, I don't know. My phone just.
That's all
I,
right.
for one,
think
love
the
hearing the
internet-
sound of Papa Luigi's voice. This is the one I've been missing the most.
Oh,
What was he talking about? So, was he talking about getting out the old bash stick?
Well, I was just saying that I don't think it's a good idea to beat women, but lesbians, it's okay to beat lesbians. I mean,
no.
that's a
He already,
godly. It's
he already
godly. That's all I'm saying,
Lou,
right? But he
Lou,
hasn't answered.
Lou, he already said the opposite of that.
Oh, I thought he said it was okay with beating lesbians.
Well, no, that's not what I got from him at all. It happened in the past, but he said I deserve to be punished. And I don't know if that's exactly what he said. I know he dealt with consequences for things in the past.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with my video, but regardless of the point, Papa Luigi, it's never okay
Yes.
to hit a woman.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
See?
All right.
And I
Even
wanna
if it's a lesbian, though.
No, well, like even if you take a bunch of drugs and change the chemistry of your body a little bit, like you're still biologically a man, even if you put on MMA gloves and step into a cage and beat one up. I mean, that's way worse than what I did because you're actively like you're trying to really break somebody's kill somebody. You're trying to kill.
Dude, no one here is doing that, right?
But moving past it, it's hard to move past my past because
let's not take it all the way off the table.
My past is hard for me to get past.
So let me see if I get this right. It's not okay to beat women, even if they're lesbians, but if they're trans women, it's okay to beat them because they're not actually women. Is that what I'm getting?
There's always chaos introduced into whatever piece it there, Jack. Why is there always an agent of chaos?
Well,
Nemesis.
I'm
It's like
just
that live without fear stuff.
Hey,
that's what I'm hearing you say. I mean, am I wrong? Are you
Lou,
not saying that?
hey,
Yes.
Look, you're
Lou.
saying some horrendous things.
Right. Actually, Lou, what you're bringing up is completely irrelevant, nonsensical, and
Okay.
you're saying it as though it has value. And
Okay.
and Nemesis, I thank you, respect to you, but I'm going to remind you, you did invite Papa Luigi to join. You may not have realized he.
Why you guys got to make me be on Lou's side?
What's that?
Why you got to make me be on Lou's side?
What do you mean?
I think that if Lou is reflecting a statement paradoxically and it highlights the incongruency, that doesn't mean that the incongruency is made up. It means that the viewpoint needs to work out that detail.
What if it has no relevance to?
Of course it does.
Does
How
it?
can you have a
Well,
perspective
he said-
that you don't understand? It's the Joker card. Lou is being the Joker card.
He plays that off.
Well, it's what he said. Did I misunderstand?
Well,
No, Lou.
Did
you
I
didn't.
misunderstand what he was saying?
are you trying to understand rules to follow? What is it you're trying to understand?
No, did I misunderstand what he was trying to put across? I sensed, from what I understood, I don't know what incongruent means, but he said that, veiled way, he said it's okay to beat
Right.
men that act like women because no matter how much drugs they take, they're still a man. So
And
it's okay if you have to beat them.
Is this
No,
important
listen,
for you to
listen.
know?
Listen,
No?
I understand that
Okay.
you don't understand it, but I don't know how to explain it to you. So let's just move past it. I really don't know how to explain
Thank
it to
you.
you.
Thank
You
you,
can write
Nemesis.
it down.
Well,
and
is it
Google
okay?
it.
Let me ask it
Why don't you
directly
ask
then.
ChatGPT?
Hey,
Because
Lou,
it's a good
it
tool for
doesn't
real.
matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter. All right.
Does it? I mean, seriously, I
So
can't find
it does
any
for the sake of getting your.
logical reason to continue this damn conversation.
It does for the
Well,
sake of getting
because
your own
he's a man
perspective.
of
Great.
he's a man of God, right? The fella up there.
Oh,
I don't
there's
know.
Lou's.
Lou, let me try to do it, Lou.
No,
Just because
Okay.
one thing is wrong doesn't mean that a similar counterpoint or an apparently similar counterpoint is not also wrong.
Hey, Flo.
Right.
Flo, do you honestly think Lou is being genuine, or do you think
I
that
don't think that he's being genuine, but I still
I
think
am
there's
being
value in
genuine.
testing out his question.
Okay.
I'm sensing hypocrisy from this man. I'm sensing that he feels it's
Hey,
okay
Lou, your audio
to be
sucks again.
again.
And I'm tired of you, to be honest. Okay. Thank you, Lou. Flo, I understand what you're saying. Okay, you may be accurate, and what I'm seeing though is I'm seeing Lou's patterns of his damn ego. So
We know it's difficult to deal with egos, but we understand what they are. But it's simple to understand what they are. It's hard to deal with it because, like I said, I brought my ego with me in the past too, and I had to check it out the door because it wasn't doing me no good because you don't care about my ego because you don't have an ego problem. And well, everybody has, not a problem with it though.
thank you.
And people, you're not threatened by me. People with egos are threatened by something. They gotta be.
Hey, brother, and actually, I think this is what we saw with Lou. He said it right there at the end. He's pursuing this what he views as a contradiction because you're claiming to be a godly man now. And I believe you are on your path seeking God and seeking to know. But Lou's been doing the same thing with me. He doesn't want to accept that others do have a spiritual connection. And so he wants to be the agent of chaos and try to prove everyone wrong. It's funny, not funny.
There's always an agent, an element of chaos that is tossed into the mixing pot to disturb the peace. But but if you listen closely, it's kind of the same thing. It's like it's not shocking nor surprising. It's just the same thing over and over again. Then people get mad at me when I repeat myself, like with my Christian talking points. If they want to hear it, if not, I say, well, let's just go to whatever level you want to. We don't have to. We can go to a secular perspective. Talk about a vague talk. It don't matter to me. It's like what matters is that we're engaging with each other. That we took the time. We're giving each other soul energy because we feel that it matters that we can use each other's soul energy to help us. Like Jack, I'm not ignorant to the fact that you have more wisdom than me. I'm only 30 in flow state. You look like 38 or something, I guess.
Close.
So you look, more wise than me. as a younger man, I have to know that I'm not fit to even be a leader until at least I reach 35. That's, the legal age of the presidency. So I'm not even fit to lead for 5 more years. I got to practice.
Wait, brother. I want to press back and encourage you to change that belief. Because if you believe you can't be a leader, guess what? You'll find all the reasons you can't. But you are a leader. You're leading yourself. You're kind of finding your way. So,
and you're leading someone right now that you don't even recognize that you may never meet or interact with. It's part of the nature of the beast.
And that is true as well. It's kind of humbling, but you know what? Actually, I'm glad you bring that up. People, whether we interact with people or not, and especially when we're coming on these, making ourselves more public, people are learning. They're learning what they like and what they don't like from what they see. So we are leading and showing others. I wish I'd have realized that a long time ago.
Did you just say bleed?
Bleed? No.
I don't think so.
Did you say believe?
Maybe.
Oh my God, dude! I better quit smoking fucking weed, dude. I better quit this shit, dude. So I smoke a sativa strain. I got 2 strains, right? I wish my camera worked. I got 2 strains. I smoke a sativa, then I smoke the indica. Jack, do you partake?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
So weed, I like weed. I quit smoking cigarettes. What about, I like also Amanita muscaria. That's pretty good stuff.
Never heard
I
of
haven't explored that.
What?
I haven't tried that.
What?
Oh, it will elevate your blood pressure and it will increase your heart rate because it's makes your optics better and it improves your mood. Like it makes colors.
All the
more
best things
vibrant.
elevate your blood pressure.
Hey, what about cybacillin? Have you ever done that? The mushroom?
Yes, I enjoy those.
Okay, so are they good?
I found value in them. I enjoy them, and I actually trust that when used properly, when used therapeutically with the purpose and the intention, I think psychedelic mushrooms can bring incredible healing. I saw they are finally studying some of that with some of the veterans.
You can get it down in the great state of Florida. There's mushroom shops that sell cybacillin now.
I heard it's getting legal in other places. In Florida now? That's
the reason I call it a great state, because we call it the great state of Texas, the great state of Florida. There are, to me, great states. The great state of Washington, where you're from, I believe it is a great state. Boy, what a great state it is. Like Donald Trump. Boy, what a great state. And I'm not just saying that. Look, I'm not just saying that because you know how YouTube works. Like you got a lot of Spokane people watching you just because you like it localizes you, then it region and outpours. But yeah, from the people of Spokane, or Washington State, I think it's a great state. I love it, And I'm not just saying that to appease you, but I kind of am because what is appeasement? I'm trying to synchronize with you. So I guess I am trying to appease you by synchronization, open you up to a conversation, open you wide up, baby.
Hey, you know what? That's interesting awareness, and the fact you shared it, that's pretty authentic. Good for you, man. And you know what? That is the purpose of what I wanted to get into today. The purpose of peace and sharing time is just that, to make these connections. And Simple Jack has been showing me that as well. He does a great example of really genuinely trying to understand and connect to other people.
Agree.
I think that see, like there's a comment here, right? It says no man should ever hit a woman. I'm like, that's the point I'm trying to get across. What is wrong with men is that the women is the trust. The women is the cycle of life. If a woman even hits you, you are a man, walk away. That's what we're trying to say. So why would someone willingly step foot in a cage and just, all right, we're going to fist fight, and then everybody watching along, boom, 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 man, beating the crap out of her. And that's what's celebrated now in sports today is men trampling women's hopes and dreams.
Brother, this that's an example I didn't pay much attention to, but I suppose you're right. It's another example of how this world, man, especially this nation, the land of America, what the hell is going on here? This is Babylon. This is nonsense. What the world and what the corporations, the governments are doing.
Have you ever heard that? Did you hear that song by Oliver Anthony? It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. That's a good song. But he's not from Appalachia. I invite anyone to come up on the panel to if you feel inclined, like if you're full of wrath, I can debate you and calm you down because I will try to teach you how to debate without ad hominem. And then once you understand what an ad hominem is and you practice not doing it, you'll understand you can synergize with people. Like if we disagree, okay,
Flo does a great job with that.
So
communicating without the ad hominems, and doing it in a calm way.
Using an ad hominem is sort of an admission of defeat in my eyes.
Basically, it's
and I hate fucking losing.
Me too.
The ad hominem is the way of the fool. The ad hominem is the way of the fool. Like, I stand for something. I stand for something greater than myself. How dare you attack my personal character because I'm insignificant? I just represent. Remember, didn't we have that conversation of insignificance about how we are insignificant but both amazing at the same time? Our visual cortex is better than any other animal. You know, dogs can only see yellow, blue, and greens. That's it. I mean, it's still good. It's just, and horses can only see, yellows and blues. Neon.
Humans are blessed. And the thing is in our arrogance, in the way that society has taught us, we become arrogant and we lose sight of how blessed we really are. To have vision, to have hearing, to have mobility. I mean, there's a lot of people that miss out on some of those things in life. And what really, I think, puts us above kind of the conversation from yesterday as well, a little bit, is the power of our imagination. It's through our imagination that we can determine the why things are. And this is kind of a newer thought, but newer connection, I'm realizing. But
so you want to live in a fantasy land?
No, I want to live with meaning, and we know the meaning through the why. This world teaches us. Jack? Well, here the world teaches us to focus on the who and the what. Sometimes the how, but
what about the movies I watch and the TV shows that I enjoy that take me? It's called escapism, and I like the fantasy as a pastime. And the video games that I play and writing, like my raps. You think when I say I drop hard bars from Mars like they stars, like that's just like an example of the poetry that I bring to the rap genre. So I feel I have something to give that genre because it's true. I can't play an instrument and I'm not a good singer. The only thing I'm good at is keeping on the beat, right? That's it.
Maybe as far as music goes, that could be true.
And I don't know if you've ever checked out anything, Jack, but and I'm not trying to get you to one way or another, but do you like rap music?
A little, some of it I do, yes.
Like what artist?
He's old school NWA.
Yeah, that was back in the day. I was a fan of Eminem for a while, but these days it's I don't know if he's really rap. Marlon Craft. And yeah, not really rap, I don't think.
Somebody compared me to Froggy Fresh.
I don't know who that is. Hey, we each have our different talents, and brother, hey, Nemesis, I'd love to actually, let's have a talk sometime with a purpose. If you're willing, let's see if we can flush out and get some clarity
It's up to
on your
you.
purpose.
I've been a video producer. I've been producing my own videos for 4 years, so I kind of know a little bit. I mean, you're more than welcome to have your own video producer, but like my wife has a camera, a single lens, but I'm saying you have your own stuff. So what kind of media content do you want to do? Like, imagine you're in the chair and you're and you're in the suit or whatever you want to wear. I mean, I think a suit, like, who cares, but just wear whatever you want.
I get what you're saying.
You know, like, to me, you dress like Walter White. So, I mean, it's a compliment, professional.
Yeah, thanks. No, I get
Walter
it.
White, dude, I love the shoes. I wear this kind of shoes, like those loafer type shoes. They're comfortable. And man, like, I'm bald myself, so Walter White, dude, he said he picked that look because it's the hardest
Dude,
look. What do you
what
think
you're
of that
talking
fantasy,
about.
Jack?
What?
What do you think about fantasy like that? Like, I'm just giving you an example. Like, is it okay to lose ourselves in a fantasy land every once in a while?
Like the music, the moment you own it.
Like, is it okay to play Mario and lose ourselves in fantasy?
You better never let it go.
Is that okay?
We can all do whatever we want. Here's actually why I was offering, let's spend some time and get some clarity on you. You may find with more clarity in what you want and what you can envision the future being. If you find clarity on your purpose, time for video games and getting lost in fantasies that other people write or create, it becomes less appealing. When we're driven, when we've got a goal in mind and we're focused and driven, man, I think that's when life is really fun. But there is a time and a place for entertainment and distractions as well. But right now in the state of the world, we live with bread and circus, man. It's entertainment. I think we can entertain ourselves while we work. And then once the work is done, then we can really have some parties.
How do you feel about cringe, though? Do you find cringe funny?
I don't know what that is.
Like The Office.
I like The
Office. You do?
Yeah, I used to like that.
I've been practicing, dude. Like, people call me a lolcow sometimes on the internet because I practice these behaviors that, like, and I'm not saying I should have done it, but like, if you practice the correct psychology, you can actually influence people to believe that you are a certain way. If you start saying, like, imagine if I acted like I was obsessed with Pokemon. Like, just weird shit like that. Like Chris Chan. Have you ever heard of him? Or Cyrex?
I've heard of the Cyrex character.
Like him. Now, I believe that Cyrex is a goblin. I think he made himself into a goblin like Schmeagol. So, with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. Because he was a fine kid. And I'm sad for a life. The life ended, really. So we should all give, I don't know. What should we give to that, Jack?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. I'm
talking like this is how it's coming out. I'm sorry.
I know.
Maybe Flow State can clarify, or Simple Jack can come up here and be a translator.
Well, actually, I'm feeling how I'm feeling today, and I'm thinking the 2-hour mark might be a great time to shut it down.
We got to go. We got to.
Good talking to you guys again.
Huh, what?
Good talking to you again. Adios.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So
Blessing.
15
Thank you,
minutes.
Flo.
15 minutes.
At the most, my friend.
What you gonna do in 15 minutes?
Here,
Think about this, Jack. I don't know if I took it. I don't know if I took this one medication, so I'm not going to take it.
You want some time just instead?
No, I don't want either. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I have stomach problems, but I don't have any tonight. And I guess where I'm going with this conversation is you can make the media that you want to, but it always helps to spread the word collectively. And I think that we should try to do that sometime. Do a collective project.
I agree. Collaboration and cooperation, and that's the best way to get things done. It's
All right,
fun
I
when
want to
we're
try
able.
to fly around some other panels to see what we got here. You know what I like? Maybe I can debate a flat earther or something. Just like it's like a romp, you know. And like I'm still young, so I guess I enjoy this. But take it easy, Jack, and I'll be in touch.
All right. Respect, my friend. God bless. Brothers and sisters, those who joined the panel, those who joined the stream, especially in the chat, thank you sincerely. I'll have to go back and review what I missed because I did walk away for a little while. Flo and Nemesis, thank you for holding things down and for sharing some conversations. I know we touched on a lot of topics today, a lot of good things though that I find helpful and valuable. The topic of the video, peace and sharing time. And just to remind for some of those who may not have been here earlier in the stream, I'll remind what we touched on there. Peace. What is peace? Peace really is, it is the absence of conflict and resistance. Peace is freeing. It's it's where we feel whole, where we feel complete. And peace can be found within ourselves. It can be found, it's really fun to share peaceful time with others when we can be peaceful and fun and authentic and honest with each other. That is what sharing time is about. And it's really easy in this world that's so focused on schedules and expectations and plannings and debts and all of these different things that'll distract us and pull us, stretch us thin. It's really easy, even when we get into one-on-one time with people who especially with people who we know, because people who we know will build a familiarity between, and with a familiarity, I see this person every day, or with that familiarity, it's real easy to lose how special that one other being is. And every being is special, right? So the point is it's real easy when we get together and we do share time with each other. If we're not present, if we're not paying attention, if our mind is not here and now, if our heart is not open and willing to connect and unite, what was the word Nemesis was using? Synchronize or whatever it was, we can unite together. And so sharing time truly is a gift. Choose how you share your time. Choose how you share your time with yourself. Do the things, what I found fun for me is to do the things that help me feel good. And I know what those are. They're healthy and usually fun and productive and usually in line with my goals. Most often my goals are to serve and help others. So if you can find your way, your talent, recognizing that the time to live is always right now. Now is where peace is found. Now is where the absence of conflicts are known. Now is where the wholeness can be discovered. Because peace comes from a wholeness. It comes from a unity. Maybe it's just a unity of yourself in the moment, but it is a unity and a wholeness that brings the peace. And I hope you can take some peace, share some peace with yourself and those around you. Till next time. And I do hope you do the subscribe thing, notification thing if you haven't yet. And I hope you catch us again next time. Yeah, by God's grace, we will return. Till next time, thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.